Eala just dropped a bombshell announcement before the DC Open. She's pulling out of doubles, ending her highly anticipated reunion with Venus Williams. But here's the shocking truth. This wasn't a controversy. This was a decision made out of pure respect. Just days after the Dream Team was spotted practicing together in Washington, Eala made the stunning announcement that she would focus solely on singles. Her reason? She didn't feel she could give the legendary Venus Williams the 100% she deserved. The tennis world was stunned, but not for the reasons you might think. Is this the most selfless decision in tennis, or a missed opportunity that fans will never forget? Washington, D.C., July 26, 2026. The tennis world was still buzzing about the singles draw when the bombshell dropped. The Dream Team was no more. Just days after the Mubadala DC Open had proudly announced the reunion of Eala and Venus Williams with a social media post that read, "Dream Team. Venus Williams and Eala are locked in for doubles in DC." The Filipina superstar had quietly withdrawn from the doubles competition. The news sent shockwaves through the tennis community. Fans who had purchased tickets specifically to witness the Dream Team in action were left stunned. Tournament organizers scrambled to adjust the draw. What had gone wrong? The initial announcement had been met with overwhelming excitement. Eala and Williams had first partnered at the Bad Homburg Open in Germany last month, reaching the quarterfinals in their debut together. The run had been brief. They fell 6-3, 6-2 to Olivia Nichols and Teresa Mahalikova, but the chemistry was undeniable. The tournament organizers, playing on that excitement, dubbed them the Dream Team. Fans had nicknamed them Team Coachella, and Williams herself had called Eala her best partner. Now it was over. The doubles draw was released on Sunday, July 26, 2026, and Eala's name was nowhere to be found. In her place stood Diana Schneider, the rising Russian star who had reached a career high number 19 in singles just last year. Williams had been repaired. The silence from Eala's camp was deafening. For a day, the tennis world was left to speculate. Theories circulated rapidly. Some wondered if there had been a disagreement between the two. Others speculated that Eala had sustained an injury during her Wimbledon run. A few even suggested that the partnership had simply not worked as well as everyone hoped. After all, Williams had admitted during their first partnership that she was ice at the net. The truth, however, was far more selfless than anyone had imagined. On July 27, 2026, just hours before her first-round singles match against Olympic champion Zheng Xinjinlin, Eala held a press conference that silenced all the rumors. She explained that she had already made the decision to withdraw from doubles after their practice session on Saturday, July 25, 2026, when she realized she could not give both singles and doubles her 100%. "I have tremendous respect for Venus. I am grateful for every opportunity I have to be by her side, to learn from her, to play with her," Eala said. "But this is my first week since Wimbledon, and I think she deserves a partner who can give it her all physically, mentally, and emotionally when she is on the court with her." What would you do if you had to choose between respecting a legend and disappointing your fans? Washington, D.C., July 7, 2026. The pre-tournament press conference is about to begin, and Eala knows exactly what everyone wants to ask. The tennis world had been speculating for days. Why had the Dream Team fallen apart? Had there been a falling out? An injury? A disagreement about strategy? The silence from Eala's camp had been deafening, and the rumors were spreading like wildfire. But then, Eala spoke, and her explanation left everyone stunned. Not because it was controversial, but because it was heartbreakingly selfless. "I have so much respect for Venus," Eala said, her voice calm but filled with emotion. "I am so grateful for every opportunity that I have to be around her, to learn from her, to hit with her." But then came the words that silenced the room. "But this is my first week coming back from Wimbledon," she continued, referring to the 2-week break she had taken after her historic Grand Slam run. "And I think that Venus is someone who deserves a partner who can give their all physically, emotionally, mentally when they're on court with her." She hadn't been able to do that. Not for both singles and doubles. I think right now, I think I can only do that for singles. I don't have the capacity yet to be able to give that in both singles and doubles, Eala admitted. Imagine that for a moment. A 21-year-old, at the peak of her career, choosing to walk away from a partnership with a legend, not because she didn't want to play, but because she felt she couldn't give it her all. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of respect. I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I had, or have, and hopefully we see more of it in the future, she added. The tennis world had been expecting drama. Instead, they got grace. But here's the question that lingers. Was Eala being too hard on herself? Had she underestimated her own ability to compete in both events? The reality is that Eala had already played doubles at Wimbledon just weeks earlier. She had partnered with Nicola Bartunkova at the All England Club, losing in the first round to Jelena Ostapenko and Sofia Kenin. And before that, she had competed in both singles and doubles in Berlin and Birmingham. But this time was different. This was her first tournament back after a 2-week break. And she had made a choice, a difficult choice. A choice that only someone with true respect for their partner would make. I think right now I can only focus on singles, Eala had said. I am not capable of doing that for both singles and doubles. And in making that choice, she had proven something to the tennis world. She wasn't just a talented player. She was a woman of character. What would you do if you had to choose between your own ambition and the respect you have for someone you admire? Alex Eala chose respect. And that's what makes her a champion. The announcement hit the tennis world like a thunderbolt. The dream team was over before it ever really began. But to understand why Alex Eala's decision to withdraw from doubles at the DC Open was so significant, you have to understand what she and Venus Williams had already built together. Their partnership wasn't just a publicity stunt. It was the beginning of something special. Something that had captured the hearts of tennis fans around the world. It all started with a single Instagram DM. I was like, sure, why not? Venus Williams recalled, when asked about how the partnership came together. Eala had reached out, asking if Williams would be interested in teaming up at the Bad Homburg Open in Germany. It was a bold move from a 21-year-old Filipina to a 46-year-old legend. But Williams said yes, and the tennis world took notice. Their debut at Bad Homburg was electric. In the opening round, Eala and Williams clicked right away. They dispatched Australian Alexandra Osborne and American Catherine Harrison in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4, in just 1 hour and 10 minutes. The victory was a statement. This wasn't just a publicity stunt. This was a real partnership. The best ride, the best tournament. The best partner, Williams wrote on Instagram after their campaign ended. Eala, for her part, was equally effusive. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I'd have the privilege of competing alongside you on court, she wrote in response. Immensely grateful to learn from you. Their run was short but meaningful. In the quarterfinals, they fell to the second-seeded British-Slovakian duo of Olivia Nichols and Teresa Mihalikova, 6-3, 6-2. The defeat ended their campaign, but it did little to dim the excitement. For Eala, the experience was invaluable. It's not every day a rising netter gets to share the court with tennis royalty, one Philippine newspaper noted. I've had the pleasure to share the court with her in Auckland earlier this year, playing against her in a doubles match, and now I couldn't be more excited to be on the same side of the net, Eala told the media at Bad Homburg. I'm ready to give it my all, have fun, and just absorb as much of her wisdom as I can. The impact on Eala was profound. Despite the loss, she admitted she was over the moon the moment she learned she would partner with Williams. No, I think our teams got in contact. And of course, I was just like, yes, she told journalist Ben Rothenberg. But you know, everyone knows what Venus means to tennis, and what she has contributed to the sport, and to women's sports, and to women in general. That's the thing about this partnership. It was never just about tennis. It was about legacy. About paying homage to the women who paved the way, about learning from the best. Williams, too, felt the connection. We had a great time playing at Bad Homburg, so we were looking forward to playing again, she said at a pre-tournament press conference in Washington. Would love for there to be future times. We'll see what happens. But for now, the future would have to wait. Eala had made her decision. She would focus on singles. The dream team would not reunite in Washington. And the tennis world was left to wonder, what could have been? What would you do if you had to choose between your own ambition and the respect you have for someone you admire? Alex Eala chose respect, and that's what makes her a champion. Washington, D.C., July 27, 2026. The press conference room at the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center is buzzing. Venus Williams sits behind the microphone, the questions about her partnership with Alex Eala coming thick and fast, and her response is pure class. While fans and journalists had been expecting drama, disappointment, or even frustration from the American legend, and Williams delivered something far more powerful. Grace, understanding, and hope for the future. We had a great time playing at Bad Homburg, so we were looking forward to playing again, Williams said during her pre-tournament press conference. Her voice was measured, her words carefully chosen. Didn't work out this time. Then came the words that Eala's fans had been hoping to hear. Would love for there to be future times. We'll see what happens. No blame, no frustration, just hope. The 46-year-old legend, who has won 7 Grand Slam singles titles, 14 Grand Slam doubles crowns, and 4 Olympic gold medals, had every right to be disappointed. She had traveled to Washington expecting to reunite with the young Filipina who had called her the best partner. They had practiced together just days before the draw. And then, everything changed. But Williams, the consummate professional, refused to let the drama overshadow the tournament. We had a great time playing at Bad Homburg, so we were looking forward to playing again. She repeated, almost as if to convince herself. And then, she moved on. Without Eala, Williams was repaired with Diana Schneider, a 22-year-old Russian who had reached a career-high number 19 in singles just last year. Their combination made sense on paper. Both Americans, both experienced, both capable of a deep run, but it wasn't the dream team. It wasn't the partnership that had captured the tennis world's imagination. But here's the thing about Venus Williams. She's been in this sport for decades. She's seen partnerships come and go. She's experienced the highs of winning Grand Slams with her sister Serena and the lows of injuries, setbacks, and disappointments. She understands that in professional tennis, things don't always work out the way you hope. And she understands that sometimes the best thing you can do is leave the door open. Would love for there to be future times, she repeated, her words carrying the weight of someone who genuinely meant what she said. And those words, more than anything else, revealed the depth of respect between these two women. Imagine what it meant to Alex Eala, sitting in her hotel room, reading Williams' words. The woman she had idolized, the legend she had dreamed of partnering with, was refusing to give up on her. What would you do if you had just disappointed someone you deeply admired? And they responded with nothing but understanding and hope for the future. For Alex Eala, Williams' response was validation. It was proof that she had made the right decision. Because Venus Williams, the legend who had won everything there is to win, understood something that the critics didn't. She understood that Eala's withdrawal wasn't a rejection, it was a sign of respect. And that's what made this story so powerful. Washington, D.C., July 27, 2026. The dust has settled, the speculation has ended, and the tennis world has finally heard the full story from both sides. But one question lingers above all others. Was Alex Eala's decision to withdraw from doubles the right call? On the surface, it seemed like a missed opportunity. The Dream Team had been one of the most anticipated storylines of the DC Open. Fans had purchased tickets specifically to witness the reunion of the Filipina sensation and the American legend. The tournament organizers had hyped the partnership for more than a week. And then, just hours after they had been spotted practicing together on Saturday, it was over. But Eala's explanation revealed something far deeper than a scheduling conflict. I have so much respect for Venus. I am so grateful for every opportunity that I have to be around her, to learn from her, to hit with her, Eala said during her pre-tournament press conference. But I do think this is my first week coming back, and I think that Venus is someone who deserves a partner who can give their all physically, emotionally, mentally, when they're on court with her. She was being honest, brutally honest, and that honesty was a sign of respect. The 21-year-old Filipina had just completed a historic grass court campaign. A title in Birmingham where she broke the Czech curse by defeating Nikola Bartunkova in a grueling 5-7, 6-3, 7-5 battle that lasted 2 hours and 37 minutes. A semifinal in Berlin, where she stunned Elena Rybakina and Elena Svitolina back-to-back, and a round of 16 finish at Wimbledon, where she defeated defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court. She had been playing at an extraordinary level for weeks, but the body can only handle so much. I think right now I can only do that for singles, Eala admitted. I don't have the capacity yet to be able to give that in both singles and doubles. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of wisdom. At just 21 years old, Eala understands something that many players never learn. That sometimes the most important decision you can make is knowing when to say no. When to protect yourself. When to prioritize the tournament that matters most. The DC Open is a WTA 500 event, offering 500 ranking points to the champion. For Eala, currently ranked world no. 29, a deep run in Washington could vault her into the top 25 or even the top 20 for the first time in her career. And she's defending just 70 points for the entirety of the North American swing. Every point matters, every match counts, and Eala knew that she couldn't give her best in both events. I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I had, or have, and hopefully we see more of it in the future, she added. And then came Williams' response, which silenced any remaining critics. We had a great time playing at Bad Homburgs, so we were looking forward to playing again. The 46-year-old legend said during her own press conference, "Didn't work out this time. Would love for there to be future times. We'll see what happens." No blame, no frustration, just grace. That's the thing about legends. They understand that tennis is a marathon, not a sprint. They understand that partnerships can wait, that the future is full of possibilities, and that sometimes the best thing you can do is respect a young player's decision to protect herself. What would you do if you had to choose between your own ambition and the respect you have for someone you deeply admire? Alex Eala chose respect. She chose wisdom. She chose the long game. And that's what makes her a champion. Not the trophies, not the rankings, the choices. I have so much respect for Venus, she had said. I am so grateful for every opportunity that I have to be by her side, to learn from her, to play with her. Those words will echo long after the DC Open ends, because they reveal the kind of person Alex Eala truly is. Not just a talented tennis player, but a woman of character. And that's something that no ranking points can ever measure.